Hi, this is the second session of the SAS tutorial. In this session, we'll be learning how to create a data set, how to print a data set, how to see content of a data set, and how to use the printing options while printing. So, in the last lecture, we learned about how to create library, a permanent library. And then we learnt about the different icons and the windows available in the SAS software. Okay, before we move to creating a data set, let me tell you something that you can see here on the screen itself. Some green sentences written here in green color. Actually these things are called comments. So this is very useful actually. While writing code, you can actually write just to give some reference to the code. For example, here I have assigned my library, right? I have created a permanent library. Okay, so in the what you can do is you can use this / then star, and within that you can write something, so that in later point in time, if you come back and see your code, you will get to know what exactly the code was doing. You don't have to run it. Just by looking at the comment, you will get to know what for what reason you wrote that code. Okay, so this is not treated as code. So this portion to this portion, this is not the part of the code. This is just a comment. Okay, and this is used for maintenance of the code. Okay, this is not at all the part of the code. So how do you write it? You start with the / as you can see here, then give star mark. You can give any number of star mark, then you write whatever comment you have to write. This is for your own reference. It doesn't have to, it has nothing to do with the code. Then you close it by putting a star mark, and then finally your / okay. So the first one we learned is how to assign library in SAS. Okay, so the next is we learn how to create a data set. We can create data set in a variety of ways. The first way is to use the data statement. So the syntax is like this: data, then what data name shall we give? Employee, okay. Then what are the variables I want in the data set? For that I write input. I'll give employee ID. This is my first variable. The second variable is name. I want employee name. Since name is a character variable or a string variable, I have to put a $sign after that. Now what is a character variable or what is a string variable? Variables which are not numerical variables. Say for example, the name, in the name variable you will have values like the names of the employees. The names could be Pramod, could be Ajay, could be Farid, could be Biswajit. All these names will be there in your name variable. Okay, so these values are not numeric. So these values are considered as string values. So for that, for the reference of the SAS software, so that the software will get to know that these values are not numeric, we put a $sign after the variable name. Okay, then we want we have employee ID, name, then we want the salary, then we want this city he belong to. City is a name, again we have to put a $. Then religion, not religion, something else. Department, let's say department. Okay, department also a string variable, so I'll put, then I'll add it with semicolon. So as I told you that in SAS you have to put a semicolon at the end of each and every statement you write. Okay, so this is the first statement, you put a semicolon after that. This is the second statement, you again put a semicolon after that. The third statement would be data line. Okay, then you again, it lines actually, yeah, then again you put a semicolon. Then you put your values, what values you want in your data set, and it has to go in the same order as that of the variables. So the first variable is employee ID. So let's say the employee ID is 1, name is Hari. Sorry. So again yeah, the first one is employee ID, so you write employee ID. Employee ID is 1, name is, let's say, Hari, then salary is, let's say, 2000, city is Chennai, and department is finance department. Okay, the next observation is the employee ID is 2, the name is Money, salary is 3000, city is Kolkata, department is finance. Third observation, Hari's salary is 4000, city is Chennai, department is accounts. Fourth is Vishwa, salary is 5000, city is Kolkata, department is IT. Fifth observation is, it's an ID. Okay, so it could be anything. Okay, the employee ID is 5, so this is Nihar. I'm running out of names. 7000, Chennai, IT. Then employee ID 10, Chitir, salary is 6000, Kolkata, finance. Then 15, employee ID 15, name is Devi, salary is 2500, city is Delhi, department is accounts. Then ID is 19, Geeta, salary is 8000, city is Delhi, and C is from IT again. Okay, so that's all I want in my data set. So after that you put a semicolon here. Don't put a semicolon here, actually put it here. Okay, and then write run. So mostly, in most cases, wherever you are using the data statement, okay, you have to end the data statement with run. So what this run does is, it tells the software that this is the end of the code. Okay, so you write run at the end of it and you put semicolon. Okay, now we'll run this code. So for that you select the code first. Okay, you can select the command also, that's not an issue, but you can also leave it out. So no necessary to select the command part. Just this much you select. Go here, as I told you, this is the place where you submit your code, then you press it. Okay, the second thing that you need to do after you run your code is to check the log window. So this is a log window. Go to the log window. Okay, so what it is saying is, so this part is from my previous run, so you don't have to see this part. We discussed about it in the first lecture itself, but my logs for this particular run starts from here, right? This is what I run, right? This is what I run. So in the note, you can see in the note it says that the data set work.employee has 8 observations and 5 variables. Okay, that means your table, your data set has been created, and that is there in the work library. I have talked about the work library previously, and we'll go and check whether the data set is actually created or not. Okay, you can go to the library from here. You can see library here, but you can also go by the view menu. Okay, go to view, then go to explorer, go to the work library. You can see the work library here, so press on it, and this is the data set that we just created now. Then press on it. Okay, yeah, so whatever data we wanted to have in a data set, it's there. We have 8 observation in all. We have employee ID, name, salary, city, department as the variables. So the variables are nothing but the columns of this data set. Okay, and that will be the first row. Okay, as you can see, this is employee ID, name, salary, city, department. These 5 variables are there in our data set, and 8 observations. So in total we have 8 rows and 5 columns. Okay, so this is how our data set look like. This is a typical SAS typical look of a SAS data set. Okay, so before you run any code which involves this particular data set, you have to close the data set. If you keep it open and run the code, it won't run. So for closing, you go there and you can close it here, or else you can close it here itself also. Okay, yeah, sorry, cancel, because I thought I closed this part. You have to close the other one. Okay, safest way is to do this one, because sometimes what you do is, instead of closing here, you close the SAS session itself and you lose all your work. So better to go to the window part and then right click and close. Okay, then again we'll go to our editor window. Okay, I'll close the second one. I want to save this code. Okay, because you may want to reuse this code in future. So what I can do is, I can go to the save icon. Okay, this is here, right? You can see it clearly. Go to save. I want to save it in my desktop. Okay, I'll give a name SAS _ 22 Jan. Okay, and I saved it. Okay, in the last lecture I tried to save the code. I tried to save the window actually, but there wasn't any code written on it, so that didn't save. Okay, so for saving something, you have to write the code first. Okay, so once you have written your code, you should save it, and you can see the name is now changed, right? And the code is now saved in your local desktop. So anytime in future you want to open it, you can open it in your SAS session. Okay. Yeah. So one thing to remember while creating a data set is that what is the criteria of giving a name to the data set and giving name to the variables. You can see I have written employee here. Okay, so can I write a name like this to employee? Let me check what it says. It shows error. It shows error. Okay, how do you know that it shows error? You can see error thing. Okay, it's written error and it's written that statement is not valid. It is out of proper order. This is because the naming convention, the name that I have given in the given for the data set is not correct. This is not the correct way you can name a SAS data. Okay, so what is the correct way? What is the criteria? What is the basic criteria SAS use to give a name to the data set or a table? The first criteria is, I'll write it down for you within the comment thing. It should start with a okay, it should start with a letter or underscore. Okay, and then within, so in this case it starts with a numerical value 2. So that's not the correct way. You should start with either a letter or an underscore. Okay, so if you put an underscore, this will work fine. This will work fine. This worked fine. This is perfect. Okay, or else you can start with a letter, like in this particular case E is a letter here, right? The second thing, that the name should not be more than 32 either bytes. So each letter takes 1 byte. So here you have how many letters? EMP 3, L is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it takes 8 bytes. So it should be less than or equal to 32 bytes. The maximum should be maximum of 32 bytes. Okay, so any you can use numerical value anywhere after that, but at the very beginning you cannot write a numerical value. You can write a numerical value here. You can write a numeric. You can put a numerical value anywhere in the middle. That's not an issue. But you cannot start with a numerical value as the name. Okay, and the maximum number of values, maximum number of bytes that you can use for naming a data set is 32. Okay, so we now learned how to create a data set. Now how do we print a data set? Okay, now we saw that the data set is created in the SAS session. How do we print it? Okay, for printing a data set, we write proc print data, then give your data set name, work dot, or you may not even use, because work is a default thing. So let's use it first, then we will remove it and see employee, run. Okay, what I wrote, proc print data work.employee. So employee data is there in the work library, and what it will do is it will print the data. Yeah, so you can go to the output window and you can see the printed result. So whatever values you have in the data set, it will be printed. So the first is observations, then you have employee ID, name, salary, city and department. So it's coming perfect. You can see it in your output window. Okay, you can use many a number of options to make it better. You can manipulate your printing result by using lot of options. Okay, you have many options given by the SAS software. You can use them and you can get better output. Okay, better looking output, and then you can actually manipulate. Okay, you may not want all the observation to be shown in output. You may want only a few observations to be shown. You may want only few variables to be shown. Okay, all that you can do within the print statement. Okay, that we'll learn in the next session. Okay, so for this session, that's all we'll learn today. Thank you.